As we began building relationships with more and more people in South America, one person would want us to get to know another person. And so we went from Guyana to Venezuela because a Guyanese man was there. Then another Guyanese man moved on to Brazil. And so we were supposed to be looking for them. So Alan made a one trip to try and find them. And that opened up in 2000 for Alan to go with Dr. Eric Hoffler and Lim Lovelace to a very remote indigenous area called Serra do Sol, and it was with the Ngaraco Indian tribe.
In 2004, Frontline hosted the first large conference in a village called Agua Fria, where hundreds of indigenous people from several nations gathered to receive biblical training.
People came from Guyana, people came from Venezuela, people came from the States, Brother Alan, Sister Heidi, and there God was doing great things there. You had about 9 tribes of people, and they were worshiping God in different languages, in Makushi, in Wapishana, in Taurepang, in Engarica, in English, and in Portuguese. It was tremendous, it was glorious. You know, God was just moving there.
The impact of these conferences was so great that the indigenous leaders saw the need for a way to train their young people on a more consistent basis. But their villages were very remote, and the government did not allow outsiders to come in. So the leaders sat down together to come up with a solution.
The leaders came up with an idea, you know, the Spirit was just born and said, hey, you know, we need more things to happen like that. So let's think of building a training center so our children, our young people can come to this training center to study.
But God opened up doors by giving the leaders of this mission a strategy. And the strategy was to bring the people from within the communities, train them, and send them back. And that has had a great effect on the people.
They began to look for a place to make the dream of a training center a reality. They chose the city of Boa Vista, which was strategically located in Brazil, but near the borders of Guyana and Venezuela.
The leaders came back looking for a land in the city. And they found a lot, which is 4 big lots.
E depois a gente comprou os outros 4 terrenos. E nós aqui orando, pedindo para Deus dar condição para a gente construir cada prédio desse aqui. E desde então nós começamos a trabalhar nas construções. E a gente tinha encontros com jovens que vinham dos Estados Unidos. E a Frontline foi de uma importância muito grande para a missão aqui. E sempre o irmão Alan estava junto, organizando e trabalhando na organização.
5 years later, the campus for the training center was completed, and people had joined in the vision to train indigenous people. Alexander and Natasha from Venezuela, Samuel from Guyana, and Alex and Cleuge from Brazil were among the first to embrace the vision of CETRA. Everything was ready for the first students to arrive.
Called my husband Alexander and me from Venezuela to Brazil to fulfill his calling in our lives, which is serve the indigenous people in the state of Roraima.
Fue difícil desde el comienzo, mas él siempre abrió las puertas. Él nunca nos abandonó. Nosotros tuvimos falta de alimento en nuestra casa, mas Dios siempre provisionó.
The Lord is always confirming that we are in the right place in the right time. And God, He has surprised us in the ways that He's working.
Porque nosotros servimos con fe, nosotros servimos con amor, servimos a nuestros hermanos indígenas, que ese es el propósito que Dios nos trajo aquí en Brasil.
We count it as a privilege because we have shared with so many cultures and many communities here in Brazil.
Eso es nuestro llamado, llevar la palabra a aquellas personas que todavía no conocen a Jesucristo.
And so when I came here, I began to work on the buildings for CETRAM, the dormitory, pastoral house, the dining room. As Setram opens its doors to students from Guyana, from Roraima, the state of Roraima here in Brazil, and from Venezuela, I got a revelation of the vision. And so I was fortunate to be a part, to be a student of Setram, and later on I became a teacher here.
Normalmente nós tínhamos 30 estudantes. Era uma mistura interessante. Pessoas de diferentes nações, como do Brasil, da Guiana e da Venezuela, de 5 diferentes etnias: Macuxi, Wapixana, Igaricó, Patamona e Waiwai.
When Setram started classes the first time, Brother Alan was here and telling some story, doing some Bible story with the students who came from different villages in Guyana and Roraima. And the students were like ashamed of their guilt of the past. Some were addicted to drugs, and so they were ashamed of themselves, of who they were. And so Brother Alan began to tell them stories from the Bible and how they were created in the image of God, in His likeness.
Assim que o missionário Alan entrava nos portões da escola, a atmosfera transformava. E com ela, aquela paixão contagiosa, trazia com ele aquela alegria, o amor que ele tinha por nós. Era a pessoa que todos os estudantes queriam estar por perto, para ouvir as histórias, para se envolver. Ele tinha uma paixão pelo chamado de Deus. E a gente podia até experimentar isso, que motivou cada um de nós também a buscar o Senhor.
Because it won't be long and he will be traveling the rivers taking the gospel to many people.
Porque não vai demorar muito, ele vai por rios levando o evangelho para muitas pessoas. Amém.
E ele sempre enfatizava a bondade do Senhor. Ele sempre falava sobre a fidelidade do Senhor, para nós ouvirmos o Espírito Santo e seguirmos a direção dele.
And his name was Jesus.
E o nome dele era Jesus.
And so when they got that revelation, they decided to give their life to Christ. Like it's 2 days after Setram opened the doors, all gave their life to Christ.
With support from American churches and other international organizations, the staff of Setram was able to provide the students a quality biblical education. Several classes of students have now graduated and returned to their communities to apply what they learned.
E graças a Deus pela equipe que Deus enviou para nós ensinar aqui nessa escola, a equipe tanto da Frontline Mission,
através de outras pessoas, através dos pastores, os irmãos, equipes que vinham de vários lugares, me mostraram o amor de Jesus Cristo. Desde que eu conheci a Jesus, a minha vida mudou muito. Os meus planos, meus sonhos começaram a mudar para trabalhar no reino de Deus, ajudando as pessoas, mostrando o mesmo amor que Jesus mostrou por mim. E eu vou mostrar para outras pessoas também que não conhecem ainda.
E também eu também sou um missionário que viaja pelas comunidades, pregando, levando o Evangelho de Cristo e vendo as maravilhas de Deus acontecer nas comunidades, na vida das pessoas.
Então, a minha missão daqui em diante vai ser andar nas comunidades, porque eu nasci para isso.
Foi incrível a gente ver a mudança que aconteceu no coração dos estudantes, na vida deles, era notável. Mas não foi por causa do método de ensino, não foi por causa da nossa intelectualidade em compartilhar as informações do Evangelho, mas foi por causa do poder do Espírito Santo.
And so when these students went back, the chiefs were looking to them for guidance, for prayers, And so by these students telling their testimony to the leaders of the community and to other community members, the people were able to come to Christ as well.